What's up, everyone? Episode 61 of your favorite show in the World Wide Web. I guess that's what we'll go with. It's your homeboy, Zack Miller, episode 61. I want to talk to you guys about a New Year's resolution from several years ago of mine that I think you guys should implement yourselves. Now, a lot of you guys have told me I want and need more. I want more. But when you start to look at your days and you start to look at what is consuming you, it's filled with garbage. No, I'm not just talking about, specific, cats and babies on Facebook type of stuff. But when you start looking at your calendar or you start to look at the meetings that you're having, you end up having a lot of garbage and a lot of, let's call it trash as another word for garbage, because you're wondering, well, why can't I just have more time to do X, Y, Z? Well, what are you doing with your time that is not going to move you forward? AKA, I'll call this the meeting with the insurance salesman that just wants to buy you coffee to get to know you. Now, it's 2013, and I've been growing a little bit, I guess, as a businessman. A couple of people knew me. I've been building up my network a little bit, but I started to recognize that a lot of people who it appeared I would never get business from were coming around saying, "Hello, Zack." And I think the strategy that they have is they read about you in the newspaper, or they find out about you somewhere, they get a referral about someone, they're like, "Oh, I need to call this person. I'm gonna email them and say, let's get together. I would love to learn about you and how we can help each other." You've heard it before. The challenge is when you have meetings like this, they end up taking up a lot of your time. And really, they're not even that great for networking. Now, don't get me wrong. I've said many times in the past, raise your hand, right? But there's a difference between raising your hand and saying yes to everything that you know is not going to convert into new business. And so when you start taking those meetings, when it's definitely for the other person, guess what happens? You waste your days. And usually these 1 hour meetings are really at least an hour and a half. Maybe you get a free cup of coffee. So instead of, let's say you charge $100 an hour, you're losing $150 an hour because it's an hour and a half, and all you got in return was a $2 cup of coffee and wasted time. So how do you start saying no? Well, first, I think you have to really understand and think about the end goal. The end goal is, many, many different things to many different people. But for me, in my case, I knew that I was not interested in being sold to, right? There's people that will call you the cable salesperson trying to say, "Hey, let's get together so we can help improve your internet." I can go online and do that in 2 minutes, right? And so we take these, we think about our calendar and we're like, "Oh, I'm going to fill it." And so you're super busy, and that's great until you realize that it was all a waste. And so stop filling your days with busyness and start filling them with, I guess we'll just call it, important meetings, right? So I'm going to look at my calendar, which I'm not going to show you because that'll be too much. But I'm going to tell you this. And I told you guys about this before, but my calendar right now, I have 4 things to do on it today, of which none of them are meetings, right? Tomorrow, filled day. Wednesday, filled day, right? But I do meetings like that on the days that I want to. So I schedule out ahead and say, okay, I'm going to do all my podcast interviews on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think I'm even going to change that and make it even tighter, so that I do all of them on a very small period of time. And the thing is though, every time I go and have a meeting, and occasionally I will do this. Occasionally I will go out and I won't listen to my own methods. And then I have this meeting, I'm like, shouldn't have done that. And we all do this. We all know when we're doing it, because we leave these meetings and we're like, that was a waste of time. We do it every week. We have meetings with people that are not beneficial to our lives. And I get it. I always say, raise your hand, raise your hand, raise your hand. But there is a caveat to that. There's this like outlier to that. There's this, you know, when you're not supposed to be taking these meetings and you do them anyway. And then you're like, man, that was a waste of my day. So think about when you have those times of day and don't do those. Because every time you do it, you leave, you're pissed off, you're ticked. And this wasn't inspired by me doing that, by the way, because I don't really do it anymore. But many of you have said, oh, I don't have time to do this. And I go, well, who are you meeting with? What are you doing in your days? Like, where's all your wasted time? And what you see is they're busy. But this busyness is busy for others, not for them. What's up, Glenn, Kelly, Jeff, Sonia, Dave? Hope y'all are doing well. It's bright and early Monday morning. Got a fresh haircut. Well, it's not fresh anymore. It was fresh on Friday. But, you know, people are constantly saying, like, I don't get how you're able to accomplish all of these tasks. And the answer is simply, I'm not doing a bunch of crap, right? So before, many years ago, I would do all my accounting stuff. Guess what? It takes a lot of time. Not good at it. Hire someone else to do it, right? At one point, what's up, Glenn? At one point, I would do all my graphic design work. If you've ever seen some of those graphics, you understand why I hired Dave. And many of these other pieces too, right? So here's the takeaway. Start looking at your days and saying, okay, this is what I want to accomplish today. All right, this is what I want to accomplish this week. Then look at all of the crap that is holding you back from it and either say no to it or find someone else to do it for you. Then, on the opposite side, figure out ways for that goal to be accomplished with what you're good at. Everything else, say no to. Because what's going to happen is your days are going to be filled, like what Glenn just said, with paperwork. And if you suck at paperwork and you might be able to afford someone to come in and fix that pain point for you, guess what? You don't have to do it anymore. The reason our days are busy is because we are allowing our calendars to be invaded by crap, by trash, by garbage. And instead of fixing it, we continue to talk about how we have a case of the Mondays, but every single day of the week. Oh, I hate doing this. What are you doing to fix it? It's a fairly simple concept. It's a fairly simple process to fix. You just have to address that it's something that you're not good at. And oftentimes I think people go, oh, I don't have enough money to do this. That might be fair. But oftentimes if you talk to an expert, it's actually a lot cheaper to get things done than many think. So instead of actually getting it done, they keep doing it themselves. And 4 hours a week times 52 weeks in the year. Last time I checked, that's still there. So that's over 200 hours of work on this thing when you could have hired someone else for $100 a month to do it. So you have to learn how to start saying no and making your days efficient so that you can accomplish what you're looking to do. Because if you allow your days to be filled with bookkeeping or paperwork and not the things that are going to move you forward, guess what happens? You don't move forward. And this was hard for me at times, right? A lot better at this now. Because when you're trying to grow your brand, you're trying to grow you, what happens is you want to meet with as many people as possible. But then you recognize after a while that, I guess my network's getting a little bit better. I don't want to waste my time anymore. So a quick way how to grow your network to, while still implementing the just say no attitude, just say no mindset, is to think about how many new people you want to meet a week. Find a list of people that you want to meet, and they're everywhere, right? Different people in a Facebook group, members of your Chamber of Commerce, a part of a LinkedIn company that you are friends with. Find out their emails, send them a subject line that says hello, introduction, and then just email them and say, hey, I'm Zack Miller, and I wanted to introduce myself to you. That's it. If they respond back, then you figure out what the next step is. If they don't, you didn't waste your time. All right. So, when you're thinking about your days, your calendars, your Mondays, right? Think about that goal. And you probably should have a goal every day, a goal every week or so, every month, something like that, to try and accomplish, to try and hit. Think about what in your calendar is holding you back, and either find someone to address those things. Bookkeeper, lawyer, you have to create content, you have to write stuff, but you suck at writing. Hire someone to do that if you can, or if not, get it out. Then, on the opposite side, think about what you're really good at and focus on that. Make sense? If you guys like what you're seeing, give it a like, a love on a Monday edition of your favorite show and mine, Zack Miller Says, which is lying because it's Zack Miller Live. The overall show, Zack Miller Says. Just confusing myself left and right. I'm super excited too because finally, this has been a long time. You guys see the logo right here. That signifies that I'm live. But my hair hasn't really always matched this, and I feel like it finally has. So I'd like to take this time to thank my barber for finally making it happen. Hit me up in the comments if you guys have questions. But until next time, start saying no. You'll thank me for it later. Zack Miller out.